Hello and welcome. This is Gareth from the iMoot team. It is my great pleasure to welcome Stephan, who is a admin in a Moodle in a. No, I'll start again. Is a Moodle. Yeah, everybody gets it wrong. Knows. He's a Moodle admin in a college in Germany. He does conferences. It's his fifth iMoot. Last year, it was great to see him do the opening keynote there. And I have to admit, he's one of the funniest people. I've had the greatest pleasure to have met in my life. So over to you, Stephan. Thank you.
Well, now that is a compliment. A Brit saying that one of the funniest people he's met alive is a crowd. You know, I've got to write this down. This is great. Smashing. Thank you. Thank you for your warm welcome. It's great to have you all here. I'll have to announce a little competition at the start. There'll be badges involved. There will be several references to superheroes on my slides, and the person who can name the superhero first will get a badge. You've got several you've got several chances. There'll be plenty of superheroes in there. So if you're a bit of a geek and like Big Bang Theory like I do, you'll be there. Okay, now that doesn't count Frankie. He wasn't visible yet. Okie dokie. So it's a picture says more than 1,000 words, and the reason behind this is that I still see, you know, I do regular Moodle training with one of the Moodle partners here in Germany, and sometimes a freelancer. And when I go in, I still see lots of Moodles that have got very well designed themes. You know, they've got custom theme design, probably made by Gareth. But then inside their courses, they're not using much visuals at all. And I believe that visuals can help with several things. And what these things are, I'm going to talk about in this session. Perhaps let me introduce myself. So this is what I look like in full size. I do also train about cooperative learning, collaborative learning. So this is what that flip chart is about. It says gute Teams, good teams. We were working on what characteristics good teams have. So this is me by day, and that's me by night when I do all kinds of other things. I work for the Volkshochschule Essen. The Volkshochschule is a great German invention because it says that every city above or every town above a certain size must have an adult education college that offers affordable education to people. And when I say affordable, we're talking about €2.20 per lesson for a standard course, like, you know, an English course or perhaps learning how to draw, things like that. And I also work in my own project called EduMorph. Well, actually, I should say that at the college where I work, I'm the Moodle admin. I think people call me e-learning coordinator, but my main role is actually looking after the languages courses. And I look after the English courses, quite obviously, but also Dutch, Turkish, Russian. I probably have missed a language now. This is not because I speak all of these languages, but because my degree was in linguistics. As I said, on the side, I work in my own project called EduMorph, which I created because I saw lots and lots of e-learning being pretty much, you know, full frontal delivered and not collaborative or cooperative at all. And I thought, you know, when you read the introduction to Moodle by Martin, I thought this is coming short in a lot of ways what I see in my everyday life. And because we don't have any kids and I don't have many other time-consuming hobbies, I decided to do this on the side there. Right, now, why should we have pictures in Moodle? Why should we use images and things like that? There is, well, several reasons. One of them is speed. When I talk about speed, I don't mean speeding up your Moodle. Now, it won't get through the wire any faster than a Moodle that doesn't have any pictures. If at all, we'll get actually slower if you use pictures the wrong size. But what it means is you can use Moodle far more quickly if there are lots of cleverly used pictures inside of your Moodle. Perhaps I'll show you an example. Now, these are all symbols that you could find at an airport, and there's a reason why these symbols are there. I think the most important one I haven't actually put on the slide, which is the emergency exit. They put them on airports for several reasons. One of them is they can save on translation, but the other thing is you can actually recognize a picture and link it to the concept in your mind far more quickly than reading the text. Now, if you use that kind of concept in your Moodle, in your e-learning, then it means that people will be able to navigate your courses a lot more quickly too. So using icons for navigation is a very, very useful way of spicing up your Moodle and making it far more usable, making it easy to use. An example, for example, it was great English. An example, for example, is this. In our college, we give people the chance to redo their school leaving qualifications, and rather than setting up a course for every subject, the subject coordinator decided she wanted all subjects in one course. Now, you can imagine if you've got, I think they take 6 subjects again, that course could become quite long, even if you use the show only one topic per page setup in Moodle. So what we've decided is, for the topic English, to have a little flag, and I'm really, really sorry that it's a Union Jack and not the Stars and Stripes or the Australian flag. Which means that when they're scrolling through the content, very quickly the eye recognizes the flag, and there's like a skeleton for biology and a picture of a laptop for ICT and things like that. They recognize where they need to be on the page far more quickly and can stop there. So this is quite good, and it's really, really easy to set up. This is just done by editing the section name. Deselect the summary, the default selection, enter the selection name. That's what you always have been doing, I hope. Although only 3 weeks ago I was admitted to I was able to look at a Moodle course run by a university, and it was even the School of Education Studies. And this lecturer had not changed the section summary. It said topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4. I hope it's a bit better now with the audio. And then in the summary, you just enter an icon. I found that a height between 50 and 75 pixels is the best, because it doesn't use that much screen estate, while at the same time being quite clearly recognizable. This is the same content in a bigger course. This is actually a Moodle training course that I've run a couple of years ago, actually. And if we just provide a bigger view, you've got the same thing. This means activating participants in Moodle. It's got the great quote, "Trust before task." And these people dancing, they're all pretty active. That's why I found this image there. And then people could just click on it, and then they get to see the contents of this. Same thing, just apart from just putting in the icon, I put in the quote as well. That's your line, Frankie. Excellent. I can, I've heard lots of people say this. Michael Tai was the first person to say, and then I copied him. I'll try and acknowledge you next time I use that quote, Frankie. You can make navigation easier. If you have not got the possibility to install plugins, for example, and I know, people working at colleges quite often can't, or at schools, I can install plugins, but I'm very reluctant because you never know when there's a new Moodle version out, how long will it take till the plugin gets updated and things like that. I have installed 1 or 2 plugins where I'm quite sure they will be updated very quickly. But what I found useful in that case is to provide a little navigation bar at the top of your Moodle course. And it's quite easy to set up. This is the navigation bar. You just include a label, or you enter the section description at the very top of your Moodle course. And you use the same icons that you've used in the section description in the label. You just put them next to one another. And the only thing that you need to do then is you need to put a link on each picture to the relevant section. And that is the question mark, it's the and section equals 1 for the first section, and so on and so forth. Exactly, it's a table, right? It's 1 row, 7 columns, that's all there is to it. And then you just get the links from the sections, and you add the links there. And I haven't got actually a screenshot for the bit, but if you enter the tooltip, the link description as well, when people move the mouse on top of the icon, you can have a little tooltip coming up saying go to section Moodle, exactly, with the mouse over. And that's really, really useful for learners. If you've got inexperienced, people who don't use the internet very often, I sometimes provide a description underneath the icon too. And I've had very, very good feedback. I've used this in a university where Moodle is the standard learning platform. And people have asked me why I'm not using Moodle, because they didn't recognize that this is possible in Moodle. This is one of the plugins I actually have installed, and a little hat tip goes to Gareth for creating the wonderful grid format. I will just take a break and answer those questions in there. Ziggy asked me whether I've got Batman in my office. I've got several references to Batman in my office, a picture, a little thing on the windowsill, a statue, things like that. But that's probably not as interesting how it does translate to mobile users. If you make sure that when you include the picture, you can choose a CSS class, and you make sure that the CSS class is image responsive. It means that the images in the nav bar then get reduced in size so that you don't get a scroll bar, a horizontal one, when you reduce the screen size. So that's my tip for you, Tabitha. That's how it works. So when you enter when you put the picture into Moodle, make sure that when you put it in one of the tabs, you've got the possibility to choose the CSS class, and that should be image responsive. And that will make sure that the images scale, and when you've got a reduced screen, they will still be reduced in size, and you don't get any of that, any of those horizontal scroll bars, which are really ugly, actually. Now, using pictures is really, really easy with this very visual course format that Gareth has created. It's the grid format, and it allows you to have basically the topics, rather than one on top of the other, to have a grid of as many topics as you want. Now, I found this useful for courses that don't have that many topics, because otherwise you need to scroll as well. This is a course. This is actually the screenshot from a course I'll be teaching at the weekend. I'll be doing that. It's not a new feature in Moodle. It's a plugin. It's the grid course format. So if you go into the plugins database and search for grid, you will find it there. It's actually one of the 2 plugins I've installed, because Gareth is always very quick in updating his plugins, and it's super popular now, Moodle 2 Nick, and it's brilliant. Oh, okay, Gareth took over the format, he just said. So whoever had the idea, it is great. It allows you to add a picture, and then you've got this kind of tile, which is very, very good for touch screens, because you can just, tap on that picture, the topic opens up, and then you've got the content. And if you choose a picture that's really a good metaphor or a really good signpost for the topic that you're using, then it's great. Now this course has got now a chronological structure, because vor dem Seminar means before the seminar. So I've got a little calendar sheet and and an arrow pointing towards the calendar sheet, meaning before. Then it's a 2-day seminar, so you've got these 2 calendar sheets there, and then you've got some tasks to do after the seminar. And also I wanted to provide them a topic kind of layout. So it's all about, e-learning buzzwords. It's for people who have never heard about MOOCs and bring your own device and flipped classroom and open educational resources and these kind of things. And they just want to be able to, at the e-learning EdTech round table, they want to be able to look like they know what they're talking about. Now, what they really want to do is they want to find a start. They want to get into the topic of, using platforms, e-learning, things like that. So they've got these topics: e-learning buzzwords, online tools, and there's a big section about Moodle as well. So you can use images there, and these are my horrible drawings there. And lots of people ask me, where can I find pictures online? And we'll talk about that. I will give you my favorite resources for finding pictures online. But recently, I found, for several reasons, that just drawing them yourself is brilliant. 2 reasons. I found that in lots of e-learning platforms, they look very, very polished, and people are getting also quite tired of having these polished stock photos in PowerPoint presentations and things. And when you use these self-drawn images, as ugly as they may be, it shows them that you are taking the time to do these. It puts a personal touch on there. It looks a lot different from what they see every day in the corporate world normally. And the other thing is, they're completely free, because you're the author. You don't have to give any credit to anybody. You don't have to buy them, and they're your own. So I don't even have a scanner. What I tend to do is I take a picture, I draw the picture, I snap the picture with my smartphone. What works really well is if you use Evernote and then use the document camera, because that will bring out the contrast quite nicely. And then you will have already quite good pictures. And if you then use an image editing tool like GIMP or something simpler even, you can just touch up the pictures, and it doesn't take actually that long. There's also going to be a little tip on how you can learn how to draw, or at least how you can learn how to be confident that your drawings are good enough to do this. Yes, people are tired of clip art and real pictures. Well, the thing is, real pictures, they're not tired of if you took them yourself. But if these pictures are quite definitely pictures taken from a stock photo database, then they're becoming boring. Now, another reason why you should use pictures is it helps feeling secure. So there's another badge for Melanie there. Excellent. First to put it in the chat. Feeling secure. I will illustrate what I mean by that by a concept called information mapping. It also goes back to the idea of having navigation and using icons. This lady obviously is in desperate need for the toilet. And because she's seen this sign so many times, when she grew up, every time there was a toilet, she saw these signs. So when she sees that sign, she's got this aha effect, and she knows straight away, this image means I can relieve myself there. You've got an aha moment, exactly. Now the same is true if I go back to this slide. this could mean that you can rent babies, because somebody said, can you rent babies in Germany? Or this could mean, place a marble into your cocktail glass. This could mean, where you can buy suitcases. But because we are pretty clever at making sense of things, I know. I tend to rent my children because I'm a godfather to lots of them. So that's quite good as well, because you can send them back to their parents. But it's just a convention that the I means, this is the information desk. And you can set up these conventions yourself in your Moodle courses. It's, if you use a picture for a certain resource or a certain forum all the time, it means straight away they know they've clicked on the right place. And I just said they know they've clicked on the right place. You recognize that this image here is in the description of the course forum. But if I just go back to this slide here, you also see it's at the top of the page because this here says go to the course forum, and there's a group in Cologne and a group in Frankfurt. That's why there's 2 links. So in the course of this course, it means that this icon always represents the course forum. And this can be useful if you've got lots of people using their mobile devices. You've got small screens. The resources are stacked quite close, one on top of the other. And when they tap on the screen, it really helps if they've got an image to represent, yes, I've actually gotten to the right place straight away without having to read much. They see this image, they know, yes, that's the course forum. I don't need to go back or anything like that. They know they've done, they've done the right thing. They're there. Another image that I've used, and that is a stock photograph, is the cafeteria forum that is in there. The font's called Purisa. It was pre-installed on my wonderful Linux Ubuntu when I installed it on my laptop. But if you look for it, I'll type it in the chat. It's Purisa. So every time they want to go on the cafeteria forum, they tap on that image and then they know straight away, they're in the right place. The other reason why you should be using images, these are the people, well, not the people, the corporations, I should say, that you're competing with online. And, if you are a Facebook user, that's becoming more and more visual. People are uploading photographs quite a lot. YouTube, you've got the videos. That's a very, a very clean, uncluttered, but very visual interface. And I mean, Pinterest, who's using Pinterest? Just put a +1 or something in your chat, or raise your hands if you want, then I can see that as well. So there are a couple of Pinteresters here. That is purely based on the idea of images. You share web pages, but an image is taken from the web page that represents it, and your stream is full of pictures, and it's very great for infographics. I've started using it quite recently because I found it's a lot more relaxing, and it's a lot more interest-based for me than Facebook. Facebook is very personal. I've got a company Facebook page that's not as personal, but Facebook's quite personal in the way I communicate there. And Pinterest is similar to Twitter in a way, in only that one way, that it's interest-based for me. On Twitter, I follow people who have got the same interests, e-learning, things like that. And on Pinterest, it's very much the same. And because you're competing against these, you need to make sure that, you've got a Moodle course that's easy on the eye in certain ways. What I've done here, you can see, but that's your screenshot with the tooltip. So this is a very small course. It's only got a couple of sections really. It's got 3 forums. One is the info forum, that is the newsletter that the teacher uses. Then there's the cafeteria forum. There's a sharing tips and tricks forum and a helpline. And then there's, well, this is the helpline, the support, the red button says support. So instead of having the forums and the activities, just stacked up line by line on top of one another in Moodle, I've decided that the really important ones should be at the very top, represented by pictures. And it's the same concept that I used on the navbar earlier on, only that to be able to link to activities rather than sections, you've got to use something called, I think they're called orphaned activities or unused activities now. The term's changed. I mean, what you need to do is quite simple. You put these activities in the very, very, very last section of your course. And when you can take the links by right-clicking on the resource and then copy link. And that link is the one that you put on the image together with the tooltip. And then after you're done, everything's there. You just click on the minus here, and that means there are still orphaned activities, which means there are accessible to people in your course, but they are invisible. And the only way they can get to them is by clicking on those pictures. And that's another one, somebody said, oh, is this a new version of Moodle? I said, no, it's you could do that in Moodle 1.x, basically. It's a very good old trick, and still lots of people don't know it. Lots of people at iMoot know it now, found, because when I look at the participant list and things, there are lots and lots of people here who are regulars and who really know their Moodle. Now, this is to help along the aha effect. And with aha, I don't mean the Norwegian band. Have they actually ever played in the Eurovision Song Contest, Gareth? That's my Eurovision badge sorted. But the other aha effect I meant is, you can help people grab concepts and make sure that, give them confirmation that they've understood something by giving them images. You can sum up forum discussions, or you can sum up topics, problems by drawing. And if there's one book I want you to buy this year, it's this one by Dan Rome, The Back of the Napkin, which is basically an instruction on how to problem solve with pictures, because we can process pictures in a completely different way. We don't have the restriction of language in a way. And when you start thinking in pictures, things become possible as well. And as I said, your pictures don't have to be beautiful. I just took this from a slide I did about a presentation about Twitter a couple of years ago, actually now. And, this just means the typical Twitter user in Germany, I think it was, tweets 330 tweets per year. That's about 75%, do about 330 tweets a year. And about a quarter of Germans have got a Twitter account, but they've never tweeted. That's what this chart means. And again, if you've got discussions going on, if you've explained concepts and things, it can be very useful to just draw on a piece of paper. All it takes is a pencil, or these, these slim felt tip pens. These good old German brand. I find these very, very, very good. And you just doodle, you just doodle like this. And a picture in a forum post will automatically get more attention than all the text. Do yourself the favor to reduce the size of the pictures before you upload them into Moodle, because I talked about speed at the very start. You will really slow things down if you upload them in real size and then just tell Moodle to display them smaller, because it means that all the data needs to get transferred, and then the browser decides to display them, at the reduced size. So that's good practice to reduce them before you upload them. And there's various ways of drawing. So I can really recommend this book. The Back of the Napkin it's called. But you don't need the book. You can just start. You can just start these drawings. Sources for pictures. I would love you to type into the chat your favorite websites and sources for pictures, please. And I wonder whether no, actually I don't wonder. I'm pretty sure my top 3 will be in there as well. I'll try and remember to copy the chat as well. So Gareth has put Icon Finder in there. That's excellent. I didn't know that one till about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, images search. Always have to bear in mind, though, to be very careful to filter for the license and then make sure that it really is the license you chose for. Yeah, exactly. Wikimedia Commons is very good. Lots of Creative Commons licensed material there. Any others? Yeah, you get all of them, but I found you get lots of rubbish as well. Your smartphone, excellent, yes. Yeah, your smartphone's got a camera, and a lot of the time, you know what kind of an image you want, and unless it's something very exotic, you can probably do them yourself. That's right. I mean, I've got an anecdote. I normally present at iMoot quite often with Michael Tai, and I was at a Moodle in Germany, in Bamberg, and after the sessions, we walked back to our hotel, and it was a market-on, and suddenly, Michael stops and asks the lady at a stall that was selling brushes and all sizes of brushes, for sweeping streets up to, shaving brushes and things like that. He said, "Can I take a picture of your stall?" And she said, "Why ever would you want to do that?" And he said, they come in handy. I may need a picture for saying clean something up, or there's a German saying, new brushes sweep well, and he was involved in language training, things like that. So there's lots and lots of good sites coming in. Creative Commons search, exactly. Yeah. Photo Libre France. See, that's a new one to me. I'll have to check that out. Thank you so much for that, Jean-Marc. Yeah, Instagram could be difficult because of the copyright issue. That will be difficult to use in courses and stuff like that. Okay, keep them coming. I'll just show you my 3 favorite ones. My absolute favorite at the moment is Pixabay. Just give me a +1 in the chat if you know of Pixabay. Okay, that's Ziggy, Gareth as well. I mean, this is a brilliant resource because all of the pictures in Pixabay are public domain. They're CC0 licensed. So people uploading them, they are true philanthropists because, they take really great pictures. I mean, this is a good quality photograph that you see there in the screenshot. And they give them away for free. There's no attribution required, so you don't need to worry about that. Because sometimes having to attribute a picture can really, it can make your course look a lot more cluttered, perhaps less professional even. So Pixabay I can really recommend. And I can also put out this little plea. If you take pictures and you're pleased with a picture, consider uploading it to Pixabay too. And then we've got a real good pool of resources that people can just use. That's great. And I found that even sometimes, although people don't have to attribute you, they still do. I found that a picture I took of the Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben in London, that was used by a hotel. You actually upload the picture onto Pixabay. You don't just link to it. Yeah. But since you're giving up any rights anyway by uploading it onto there, it will be public domain. It doesn't really matter. You mean to the course. You have to upload the picture. the linking does not work because they've got a little block in there because they don't want to have too much server load on their servers for the pictures. So you really need to download the pictures. You can download them different sizes and then upload them again into your Moodle. Linking does not work. You can't embed them either. That's different to Flickr, for example, which I'll come to in a second. Ah, very good. Yes, I'll try and look at the banque image libre gratuite. Gosh, it's been so long since I talked French. Great. Yeah, I'll show you the picture attribution tool in a second as well. The other side I use quite a lot, if it doesn't have to be photography, but it can be icons and drawings and things. There's Open Clip Art as well. And Open Clip Art, same thing. It's all out in the public domain. You don't need to attribute anything there. You can just use them. And you can export them as SVG files. So you've got vector graphics that you can use, or PNG files. So you've got also transparent background, which can be really useful for your Moodle courses, depending on the theme you use. If you don't have a white background in your theme, I really recommend the PNG format for your pictures. Set with GIMP or something. Change white for a transparent color, and then they'll look really, really nice on your Moodle site, whatever your background color in your theme is. Then I quite often use the Flickr Advanced Search in conjunction with Image Coder, and it could be that Image Coder is the site that Nick is referring to, the automatic picture attribution tool, because it does more. It shows. It gives you a code for embedding the Flickr picture, because from Flickr, you can actually embed pictures into your Moodle. But it makes sure that you've got the correct attribution with the file. Because the problem with the Flickr attribution is, although there will be CC licensed in Flickr, depending what the photographers who upload their pictures have chosen for the photographs, the way that they are being embedded, if you use the Flickr embed method, is not compliant with the CC rules. So if you want to comply with the Creative Commons rules, you need to use something like Image Coder, for example. That will create an embeddable HTML text, and that will display the picture together with the attribution. Yeah, if you've got any other ideas, please mention them. 500pix.com. No, I think that was not mentioned in the chat yet. So 500pix.com looks like a good tip as well. So there's lots and lots of things pulled together there. And that's what I love about the iMoot, the sharing that's going on. And I always learn so much. Yeah, that is exactly. Thank you for putting that link in. That's brilliant. Yeah. And if somebody can put the link into the Flickr Advanced Search, then we've got that in the chat too. That would be great. You could just Google Flickr Advanced Search and we'll take you to that page as well. Okay. So we're nearly at the end of my presentation. I just want to leave with one plea as well, because I know that using the pictures is more work. You've got to either draw them, you've got to look for them, you've got to make your Moodle course look nice. And, if you're a teacher, I know you've got a lot on your plate. But in my experience, I found it really makes such a difference in the learning experience and in the Moodle experience. A lot of the stuff we get about Moodle being ugly and not looking nice and stuff like that, it's not just down to the theming that's being used. I wish there were some more really great Moodle themes in the core, because there are still so many institutions that cannot install plugins. And if you've got a theme that is highly customizable with CSS, custom CSS in the theme, you can make Moodle look nice. But your courses will look the same as they've always looked, apart from having a nice background and things. So using pictures in your courses will make the user experience so much better. It will speed up It will speed up the user experience because of the information mapping. Using icons in a clever way will mean people know exactly where to click to get to certain places. Don't forget you can have a nav bar or a little grid at the top. You know, think about installing the grid format. Gareth is pretty quick in making sure that's available if a new version of Moodle comes around. So basically what I can, you know, sum up is, don't be him in Moodle if you can be him, and that's far cooler. So that was really all I had planned for today. I just put the final slide on. Just got contact details and stuff in case you want to be in touch. I should warn that the Edumorph Twitter account mostly is in German, but the Stephan Rinke Twitter account is mostly in English. Okay, we've got about a quarter of an hour for discussion left. If you've got any questions, any tips, then it would be great. Yes, it's Green Hornet. No, it's not. If you were really, really geeky and desperate, you could scan the QR code and have the contact details on your mobile device as a contact card. Okay, thanks, Aurelie Owens. You know, thanks for saying that you learned a lot, because one thing I always have is, and I found out that there is a medical term for that, what I've got. I always fear that what I'm going to present is completely trivial and irrelevant, and that people, you know, at a conference like iMoot, you know, they will know everything I've got to say. So I'm always very reluctant to the last second, you know, whether I'm going to enter a presentation or not. And so it's great, you know, if you enjoyed the session, if you learned something, that's excellent. I'm really sorry there won't be a rerun, because I'm teaching Saturday, Sunday, so I haven't got any opportunity to do this session again, but it's being recorded, so you can point people to the recording as well. Thanks for your thanks in German. That means a lot to me as well. And thanks for the holy mackerel, Frankie. That's great. Okie dokie. Right. So if you haven't got any more questions, we can wrap it up. But, you know, please feel free for any other things. And I will go through the chat to see who deserves these special badges. Oh, thanks, Melanie. That's great. That's really great. Because as I said, I was worried.
Hi, it's Gareth from the iMoot. Whoops, the echo there going on. Thanks, Stephan, for really informative, different presentation with a real different aspect. I found that sort of, you know, courses, loads and loads of text, it all gets very, very cluttered, and just putting those images in there makes such a difference. So I really learned a lot of ideas, and hopefully Eurovision badge coming your way. So once again, thank you very much, and for your time and for an excellent presentation.